There have been wars throughout human history, and if you will, persecutions of people throughout human history along religious lines. The most common ones that arise in people's minds are things like the Inquisition or the Crusades. But these go all the way to the battles between the Sunni and the Shia sects of Islam, between Protestants and Catholics, between different Protestant groups, between Catholics and the Greek Orthodox. We see these things happening between Confucians and Buddhists and Confucians, from Shintoists to Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists. So if we really try our best to actually look at some of the history of these things, and we see in front of ourselves somebody who is really, if you will, feeling an aversion to the topic because of the amount of suffering that has been caused, I think it's important that we don't have a knee-jerk reaction ourselves and actually really pause and genuinely think about this. There is a beautiful principle actually being expressed here, and that principle is, I dislike division, hatred, and disunity within the human family, and I see this here as being the cause of these self-evidently dark things: disunity, hatred, and division.
The greatest cause of human alienation has been religion, because each party has considered the belief of the other as anathema and deprived of the mercy of God.
So what has been the greatest cause of human alienation? According to this passage, it has been religion. Why? Because they have believed that the other party has been deprived of the grace of God. Now listen to this next passage from Abdu'l-Baha.
It is evident that prejudices arising from adherence to religious forms and imitation of ancestral beliefs have hindered the progress of humanity thousands of years. How many wars and battles have been fought? How much division, discord, and hatred have been caused by this form of prejudice? If religion proves to be the source of hatred, enmity, and contention, if it becomes the cause of warfare and strife and influences men to kill each other, its absence is preferable, for that which is productive of hatred amongst the people is rejected by God. It is evident, therefore, that the divine teachings are intended to create a bond of unity in the human world and establish the foundations of love and fellowship among mankind. Divine religion is not a cause for discord and disagreement. If religion becomes a source of antagonism and strife, the absence of religion is to be preferred. Religion is meant to be the quickening life of the body politic. If it be the cause of death to humanity, its non-existence would be a blessing and benefit to man. Therefore, in this day the divine teachings must be sought, for they are the remedies for the present conditions of the world of humanity.
It is amazing how many times this is stated within the Baha'i writings. I actually had to go through a very large compilation I have in order to select a few just to express this point. The point being that if religion, which is meant to actually create peace and unity and bonds of love, begins to cause hatred and division, its absence is preferable.
Imitation destroys the foundation of religion, extinguishes the spirituality of the human world, transforms heavenly illumination into darkness, and deprives man of the knowledge of God. It is the cause of the victory of materialism and infidelity over religion. It is a denial of divinity in the law of revelation. It refuses prophethood and rejects the kingdom of God. When materialists subject imitations to the intellectual analysis of reason, they find them to be mere superstitions. Therefore, they deny religion.
Once again, this is actually such a pregnant quote. There's so many things within this quote that would deserve a really long discussion. In short, however, what are we being told? That imitation, the refusal to use one's own intellect in the investigation of truth, and the acceptance of belief systems that have been given to you without critical thought, does what? It extinguishes spirituality from the human world. It actually eradicates the very thing that religion actually was meant to bring. It is a remedy, and this is actually the sickness itself, this imitation and blind adherence to dogma. And then it says that it is the cause of victory over materialism and infidelity, the breaking of a covenant. Why? Here, it says, when materialists subject imitations to the intellectual analysis of reason and find them to be mere superstitions, therefore they deny religion. Once again, this brings us back to the responsibility devolving upon the believer. If we are presenting concepts that we think are religious to a human mind who is actually seeking to be critical and honest and intellectual and investigative, they then turn this and see this as ridiculous and they deny it. That is actually our fault. It is our duty to do the best we can to understand issues as best we can and present them in the most rational light we possibly can. When it comes to this question of religion causing war, it is vital that we actually are willing to investigate it. And when I say we, I mean whether a person is a Baha'i, a Muslim, a Christian, an atheist, an agnostic, a secularist, it doesn't matter. We actually have to be willing to use the best fruits of human knowledge to investigate it. This concept of the absence of religion being preferable, if in fact religion is only productive of hatred and division, really comes to a culmination or a crescendo in this quote from Abdu'l-Baha.
The third teaching of Baha'u'llah is that religion must be the source of fellowship, the cause of unity, and the nearness of God to man. If it rouses hatred and strife, it is evident that absence of religion is preferable, and an irreligious man better than one who professes it. According to the divine will and intention, religion should be the cause of love and agreement, a bond to unify all mankind, for it is a message of peace and goodwill to man from God.
In this quote, and it's very clear, Abdu'l-Baha states that an irreligious person is better than a religious one if the outcome of that person's religion is hatred and division amongst other people because of that belief. So if I actually take on the faith of Islam, and I actually then have that faith cause me to hate and vilify other individuals, it would be better if I was irreligious. If I myself take on the mantle of Buddhism, and all that comes out of that in the end is actually anger and division towards my Hindu brother or my Christian brother, then it would be better if I had not accepted the Buddha and the Dharma. The question that arises here then, given religion has been the cause of so much war, hatred, and division, how can we be religious?